Hello Shep, I hope you're fantastic today. In today's very stream, I want to share for UPW part 19. By the way, you can also go into my YouTube channel, watch myself 4K when you go just on pogodora space UORA. Without further ado, let's jump in. Today we want to talk about a little bit about the priming exercise. Priming exercise, just Google it, just go into priming Tony Robbins, you can find it really quick. And let me ask yourself, do you prime yourself, yes or not? Now let me show you how it goes. First of all, you have to hold your hands to your hand. Okay, first of all, you have to go with the breathing exercise. Then you do this cleansing exercise. Then you are in this kind of state, and you put your hands to your hand, and then you embrace gratitude. You are stack up gratitude. You remember yourself on moments of gratitude and just pull it to you and saying yes, 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 yes. You know what are those? And then you are accumulating actually joy into your heart, and then you can also do not just with gratitude, you can do it also kind of moment of grace, of moment of greatness where you feel proud of yourself. And then you can also do some coincidence. For example, there's a girl you have approached and this becomes your wife. Really, just really it was a coincidence. Okay, and then you put those things together and voila, you got actually the priming, and then you scream out loud how do you feel, and this is what priming is all about. Just really quick explanation what priming is. And I mean, it's better to show it because it becomes really deep work. Now, during the priming, even not during the priming, you can ask yourself always those kind of question is, all I need to remember is what? All I need to remember is what? Because guess what? When we remember things in the wrong thing, we are remembering stuff as stories. When the stories are wrong stories, not beneficial stories for ourselves, our brain is actually going and say, dude, it's a bad thing. So you get warnings, and this warnings comes in into your body or into your physical body as the results, and these results are basically some diseases that you might have, or some occasions that are not pleasant for you. Okay, therefore all I need to remember is what? Well, all you need to remember is basically those things that just ask yourself those questions. Okay, then all I need to focus is what is the thing you need to being focused on. And by the way, when you focus on things that you not want, it will be also manifest, because the universe doesn't, not the world, the word now. Now, all I need to do is what? Also really important, because without action, nothing will happen. And the more you focus on those questions, the more likely the answer will arrive. And it will arrive because you focus on those things. Now, let's get into the 3 forces of creation. We have 3 forces of creation. First of all is focus, second is massive action, and third is grace. But before we want to go to focus, let's talk about a little bit the law of familiarity. The law of familiarity is basically familiar things attract familiar things. It's like law of attraction. And same goes here. Sometimes people are just attracting the wrong things because they are thinking, I don't want to have this. Yeah, I don't want to have this disease, but they accumulated actually diseases without knowing it. Or same goes the other way around. I want to have it, so they get it. Now, some people when it comes to law of familiarity, get to things really close enough, and for example they want to get something and they get close enough, and they're really like 1 centimeter, like 1 inch to reach it. However, they're giving up because of what they're doing is sometimes they take this kind of force of creation for granted, aka they are start to disbelieve it. And when your disbelief grows, even you're really close, this belief becomes stronger than your belief. So belief is really, really, really important. The first thing of the force of creation is, of course, focus. In focus, we have to do what? Well, power of absolute clarity. Yes, we have to be focused on power of absolute clarity. When we are not clear, we make people confused. When people are confused, they start to ask. When they start to ask, they will find mistakes. When you find mistakes, you have a new enemy there. And when you have new enemies, this enemy can spread this world, and you get actually anti-propaganda against your stuff you're doing. So you don't want to have it at all cost. And of course, you want to have commitment. If you're committed to things and doing whatever it takes, you will achieve it in no time. However, if you are always hesitating, it will take you maybe even decades. Now, next thing is multitasking. Multitasking is distraction. However, to the multitasking, I want to take you one thing. Multitasking is distraction, especially for males. For females, we have a little bit of theory, because even the eyes are working different, male eyes and female eyes. While male eyes back in the days, especially in the caveman days, when we used to be hunters, we hunt animals, right? Our eyes are really good in tracking things down. Like you can track something movement. Therefore, most people who are working as drivers are males, because they can better comprehend towards moving objects rather than females. Females, on the other hand, are better in things like colors and environment. So basically, back in the days, they were like collecting all the fruits, all the herbs, and so on. And when they are collected like the wrong fruit with the wrong color, what will happen? Someone will die, and they don't want to have it. So they're really a strong sense of color and strong sense of of shape and color, and also of environment, because they have also to be aware, like maybe there's a food, there's not, and they can gather it. And sometimes they have also kids, so they have also, by gathering of things, they have also be aware of the kids, so they are more aware of the environment than men. Therefore, in this kind of environment, female brain is better in multitasking than the male brain. This is really true. However, in the long term, when you multitask, for example, when you do work, right? When you do work and you're writing something, listening to music on something like that, right? In those really small things, what will happen is you will simply distract yourself from one thing, and everything just will happen halfway. Thank you for watching, Purity Muindi. Thank you for watching. And yeah, this will actually happen when we are doing multitask. And there are actually exercises for multitasking. For example, first of all, you write down numbers, and then you write down letters, and then you track down the time, right? Numbers, letters, how many minutes does it take for you? And then you write down parallel numbers and letters. So you track down, you write down like 1A, 2B, 3C, and so on till you get to Z, right? And you write it down, and then you can track on. And sometimes people need 3 times more time. 3 times more time. Sounds awkward. Then actually you are doing it like when you focus on one thing. Okay. You can just experiment. Just take a piece of paper and just do it, and you will see that you take more time for sure to do the thing, which is actually one of the things of multitasking. But here is like multitasking, you are actually multitask with the same task. So the different things of multitasking, like, I mean, things like gathering herbs and be aware of kids is a different kind of multitask rather than writing things done and thinking about 2 different metrics or different systems at the same time. Because there is like multitasking of the same thing, and the other thing is more multitasking. But nevertheless, you cannot multitask 100% to every single time. You will always have like the thing like 50-50, 40-60. You cannot have 50. You cannot have 100% when you multitask. So this is, you have to be aware of. Now, when you are focused on a goal or a desire, your brain will start to recognize it, and everywhere you make it, and recognize it everywhere and make it happen. Pretty easy example: when you are into real estate, you will walk through streets and see all the real estate. Especially when you're really pro in real estate, you will go through the streets and see like the real estate opportunities all around you. because your brain is already focused on real estate and you want to have real estate. And this kind of happen in plus and minus situations. So by the way, if you're in real estate, it will happen in minus situation. For example, you are sick, or say you have social anxiety and you are talking everyone, I have ASD or something like that, I have social anxiety or something like that, or I don't know what you have, and or I have this kind of disease, and then you just coming with excuses. I cannot this because I have this disease. I cannot do that because I have a disease. And then you come up, your disease is the best excuse. I told it every time. And some people get upset because of it. How dare can you say that my disease, my back, it is your excuse? Because the more you are actually go with your disease and spread it around that you have such, you will actually attract even worse disease, or your disease becomes worse. So don't do it. Focus not on your disease, focus on your curing, focus that you are healthy. When you focus on your health, well, there's no disease that can actually penetrate you. Now, if you want to see something, you will. Simple as that. For example, if you're freaking scared of tarantulas like myself, well, if you say, I don't want to see tarantula, you will see it everywhere. Why? Basically because the universe doesn't know the word no. And the more you say no, I don't want to be broke, but you will become broke, and even more broke than before. Because you say I don't. And as the universe doesn't know the word no, it will give you even more of it. Simple as that. Now, instead of you can more focus, I want to accumulate riches. But if you want to accumulate riches, it doesn't have to be the more egocentric those riches are. The more you are focused on yourself, the more it's not likely to manifest. However, if you focus on more others, on the environment, then those riches will manifest. And it is like your heart or your mind is, in these terms, like a tracking missile. You know what a tracking missile is? You know, when you have this kind of fight jets, you know, like Apache, these fight jets, you know what I mean, right? These flying jets with submarines have and so forth, right? And they have this kind of missiles. They are shooting this missile and it will track down when it feels like it is hot or it's warm, and then boom, and explode. And this is exactly what happened with your mind when you give this kind of, in your mind, give this impulse, give this thought, give this wish, give this belief in your brain and say, okay, I want to have this, or I don't want to have this. Then it will track it down and boom, and it will explode. And you will have it, basically. Now, next thing is, the second one is effective execution, aka massive action. Massive action. If you do massive action and effective execution, in fact, many people do an action and they say, hey, I'm working my 9 to 5. I'm working 9 to 5. Sometimes, like in Japan, I'm working like 9 to 5. It's written on the paper, but I'm working 9 to 12. And well, it's just all exhausting, and it's not really effective action. It's not really effective execution. It is just depletion of your own strength, of your own power, of your own greatness. What is effective execution is all about? Well, in Japan, we have some people we are called salaryman. We have like the salaryman, the people, the office worker, and we have the saboriman, people who are actually sabotaging. They are pretending that they are working. In fact, they're doing just nothing. They're doing just shoot. They don't doing anything. And what that leads actually that the company's revenue goes down, and yeah, nothing happened, but they're pretending. They're good at pretending. Okay. And I mean, in US, those people will be fired immediately, but in Japan, it's more, they have other values. They have more the value to, it is not good to be a good worker. It is good to be a worker who can pretend to be a good worker. I know. And in the long term, it sounds really bad. However, they have this kind of values. And this is not really effective action. This is just, this is massive action because those people are working till 12, till 1, and have the most underpaid overtime work in the world. However, this kind of most underpaid long time work in the world, or overtime in the world, doesn't pay really off because they don't execute effectively. Basically, you can do the work that they're doing in 12 hours, you can do it in 3 hours and go home. And it's actually the best thing you can do. Instead of sitting there for 12 hours, the next day you are just feel asleep and just feel half dead and just go again for the same thing for the next row. It is just depletion on the highest level. Therefore, really, effective execution heals everything. If you optimize your execution, becomes effective in your execution, it heals literally everything. This execution doesn't mean just you have to do something with your hand. You have to type something and stuff like that. Execution means also your thoughts. When you execute your thoughts in the right way, when you execute your own beliefs in the right way, when you execute your own feelings in the right way, when you have the control of it. You know, we have the big computer, it calls brain, but we don't have the manual for it, most of us. So when you start to have the manual, when you start to execute it effectively with your own emotions, with your own feelings and everything. Okay? Awesome. Now, it's basically what you sow, what you reap. Easy. Now, number 3 of the power of the 3 forces of creation, right? The third one is grace. It's having faith is really, really important. If you don't believe in what you're doing, you don't achieve it at all. And when you achieve it, you don't feel happy with it. Now, there's some notes in terms of focus. There's some notes in terms of focus. Always ask yourself, who's got the results that I have, that I want? Who's got the results what I want? Who in this world? Do you want to have some results? Yeah, I want to. Who is that? Who's have it already? Who's showing it already? Can you find this person? Okay. Can you resonate to his word or not? If you cannot resonate, if you are not congruent with his word, if you're not congruent with what he's doing, what he's saying, well, you don't should follow this person. You should follow someone who does it. Or you can just take the things that this person are doing and follow someone else who is resonating or who you resonate with. Okay? Now you can tell to yourself, I can do the same thing that the person does already with my own tweak. Don't you? You can do it. You have just to see what the person does, and then you have to track down on what your current situation is giving you, and then see how you can tweak it in your own way so you can already do baby steps in order to execute and get towards this goal, right? And then you have to really believe that if it's an obsessive focus, it will freaking happen. It will freaking happen when you obsessively focus on it. And what I mean by obsessively focus? Well, you have to do the main thing that is leading you to this goal, the first thing after your morning routine in the morning. Because our brain is the most woken in the first 2 hours after sleep. Okay? So when you're doing it over and over again, and you feel like your brain is just really woken, you can execute, well, you will get the results no matter what. Because you're focused on it. And in this very world, especially currently social media, you have so many ads, you have so many opportunities, you get just distracted from everything. And this distraction doesn't bring you anything. It doesn't bring you nowhere. It brings you to stagnation. It brings you to stay where you are. It doesn't bring you to the next level. But you have to get to the next level in order to see the results. In order to not just see the results, in order to really feel these results. Because The most problem is we are doing things, but we are not really celebrating those things. And I woke up, boom. Why do you freak don't you going and celebrate it? It's already a win. More than half of this world isn't waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning, but you did. Celebrate it. Hooray! You have already won. You have already won when you compare yourself with always people who are lying there in the beds and they, oh, it's o'clock.